Hello, hello, episode 5 of the Susu podcast. I am back with the boys, George, the coach, with all the tactical news. You guys know Blue, the club legend, historian, strategic man, spokesperson, community man. Blue, you wear a lot of hats. It's a privilege to be back with you boys, playing host. My name is Ryan. I am the American to keep this thing moving and ask the simple questions for those soccer, football fans. But we will be using football because this is a proper podcast going forward. Gentlemen, before we dive into the recap of last week, which was an exciting win, which puts Susu at the top of the table. George, how you been for last week? You ready for this big up down? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. Um, I'm fully immersed into the Futera train, Susu. Um, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. Watching the games. It's been good.
Nice. Blue, how about yourself? How you keeping up in the last week? Doing all
Yeah,
right?
all good, mate. All good. Lots of food terror and lots of gardening, making the most of the spring weather.
All right. Well, we love to hear that you
We need
both.
a little, we need a little susu. We need a little hat. We need a little susu. So I'm going to start doing that. Susu.
Oh, interesting. This is some new lore being introduced live. We didn't
That's
even
where we're
talk
going
about
with it.
this. All right. Well, I got to work on my form because I think my Sue is backwards and also my S's look like haphazard C's. But all right, I love that. I'm gonna go ahead, right? Like all podcasts, like we start with kind of the team news. What did we miss from the last week? Kind of the facts of the week. I'll go first, gentlemen, and then I'll pass it over to you, George, for your comments for this week. For me, shout out to our first ever question for the pod, to our resident whale, and we mean that in the most kind way and jealous way, really, because he's got the most NFTs. Lawrence, thank you for the question, even though it may be backhand. His question from the field, the first one, and please always send those in, either live in the chat right now or in the Discord, is what about the Snook project up top? Gentlemen, you want to have a good little laugh about this one before we dismiss it as Lawrence just playing funny with us?
Do you want to explain who Sanook is first?
Yeah, Sanuk is our utility man who has yet to find a home. So as we get to this conversation, he played defense, he played center back last season. He was our striker
He,
solution. So he's been all over the park. That's the joke. That's the inside joke for those that are new to this Susu family.
he is a centre back. He's very young. He's very tall, very gangly. And because he's very good at heading the ball and holding it up, they did think that he could potentially play up front. But when they tried it, he's not good enough with his feet, let's say, and he doesn't know how to make a run either. But we joke about it, calling it the Snook project. Whenever things get desperate, we're like, throw Snook up front. So that's the inside joke.
Thank you, Blue, for always breaking down the history and bringing everyone together because that was quite funny. Um,
Well,
so,
otherwise you wouldn't know who Snook was.
yeah, well, we all got to watch him
No, I
play.
was I was pretty clueless. And to be fair, I was yeah. As a new head, that was a bit lost on me.
Well, that's what we have for the podcast. We bridge the old history with the coach coming in new and me somewhere in the middle. So my last kind of news thing of this week before I pass it over to you, George, is just shout out for folks giving love to the pod. We're over here trying to figure out on the way. Mark at the top, we be watching it, giving us feedback. We love to hear it. So thank you for all you guys. George, over to you for this week's news.
I think the big news is Ninja has turned up for me. I think in you'll find out when we watch the review of the game. There's a lot of Ninja, and yeah, he's turning into an absolute player that I think we all deep down knew he would be.
Well, you certainly did, right? You picked him to score the first game. Like you've always been a big backer. You said striker, I think, was our strongest position when we did the season preview. Uh, Anything else from you, George, for this week from the news, or anything you'd like to commentary before we pass over to Baloo?
No, not pretty quiet week again for me.
Awesome, Baloo, take us away. What else you got for us before we get into the
Uh,
game recap?
Injuries, basically. So Mbappe's still out at right back, and Mark did say he'll be coming back at some point. I won't reveal when just yet, just so that the opposition doesn't get a read on us. Yeah, we had a couple of people out for the last game, which threw the vote out because Tuit was meant to be playing. We voted him in to play at defensive midfielder, but then he didn't pass the fitness test before the game, which ultimately meant that the vote was null and void. Although Drew did start at centre back, it just changed things about a bit. But the benefit of that was it gave Seagame a chance to shine, which, by the way, Mark and the guys were absolutely raving about Seagame after the game. They thought he was one of the best players. And I can't work out whether he's used, his name is SEA Game. I don't know if it's a gamer tag or if it's Southeast Asian Games.
That's
So I
interesting.
don't exactly know why he's picked that, but it could be Southeast Asian Game.
So
Whatever
Mark,
you decide, I'll believe.
well, we got Mark watching, so we'll let you guys know in the next episode when Mark lets us know. And just to level set with the folks, if you want to get more involved, the manager's office, which is a part of the Discord, is where we really get all the access to ask those questions. So Mark, we're gonna ask you here, but you'll also find us asking that question in Discord. Blue, what else are your
I
thoughts?
think it was
Go ahead. Sorry, George.
It was an interesting week regarding the votes, because I think it was the first week that I've been involved that it was sort of, I wouldn't say controversy, but I think the vote was very interesting on people. I don't know if they did not do it or none avoid it. I know I didn't vote again just because it was a vote that I didn't feel I had any attachment to, and I was sort of easy anyway. But it felt a bit in the Discord. It was the first time there was some actual discussions going on, which was quite nice.
Yeah, and so we have it on screen right now. The results were lopsided, but the votes, there was only 23 votes in total, right? And so our resident whale, that means Lawrence didn't vote. There were some people that can really sway it, which I think is interesting. Blue, do you want to have any commentary on this vote, how it went down, and your thoughts? Not without spoiling it, right? Because we're going to get into the game highlights. So just kind of, here is the vote, set it up for us as we go through the game highlights. We'll talk through how it kind of played out.
Well, voting's an interesting one because voting is political. You know, that is the name of the game. Lawrence deliberately steps out of these when either he's not sure or he doesn't want to sway it. Because if you don't have as many people voting at that time, like George steps out, X amount of other people step out, then basically Lawrence could sway in one way or the other, depending on whatever he wanted. Now, he's a good guy. He decides he's not going to do that, and he lets us basically play about and vote. And it's only when something really antagonises him or there's a lot of people voting that he will get involved, because he doesn't want to affect it too much. I've told him before to split them up into different accounts so that he can basically do like a 10-vote block or something like that. But the other side of this is that, you know, we can sway each other's opinion with this. And some of this is inside knowledge as well. Or when I mean inside knowledge, it's people that have been watching a team for a couple of seasons. So there's no way, I mean, I'd kind of forgotten this myself, but there's no way that George is going to remember that at the start we were told that Ju used to play for Thailand as a centre-back at under 16 and under 18 level.
Yeah.
He obviously never grew from then. He stayed at the same height ever since. But yeah, it's one of those where if you don't have some of this knowledge, it makes it very difficult to vote on these, and you can just end up then voting the same way as everybody else. And that's why you often get lopsided votes, because people will want to vote, but they won't exactly know which side to vote on.
Yeah, so well said. So thank you for breaking that down too, and shout out Lawrence. We love you. Part of the Susu meetups in person, right? So there's some lore there as well. All right, so boys, we've talked about the vote, right? As these players, we'll see them on these highlights as we talk through that. With no further ado, let's jump into that. So on screen now, we've got the highlights from last week, and let's go ahead and jump in. Coach, take us away, and Blue, please go ahead and jump in and feel free as ready. Go ahead, George.
I think the first one is highlighted of Ninja, which you'll see a lot. Is his hold up play just to sort of secure it, roll it off, good bit of skill, getting us forward, which I sort of was a theme throughout the game. Just secured it, just moved it well. Had a great game in my opinion, and we'll see lots of it in the next clips.
Flicks and touches, wasn't it? I mean, it was actually a decent throw in that time too.
This one, you want to pause it here? This one had it was
Oh, what a goal.
a minor a minor bugbear of mine is so with set pieces, the hands in the air should indicate a certain thing. So he puts his hands up really early, and then you'll see we move. Whereas for me, when I sort of coach set piece or talk about it, the hands up is basically the start of your run up. So that means hands are up. I'm about to go, start moving. Whereas he put his hands up for like I think it was 8 seconds, and then did his run up. So it should be like a okay, hands are up, I'm going.
Oh, I'll play that back so we can see it again.
Yeah, I mean, the players shouldn't need that long. He's basically
they're up
saying
for
I'm ready to
ages.
kick the ball. Yeah,
Yeah.
got brilliant curl
And
on that one though.
Again, link up by Ninja in this video will be a big theme throughout. He secures the ball really well, a nice little layoff to get us going forwards. Here, he holds it up, gets round him, good link up, and then just unlucky with the cross.
Do you think Ninja is as much a 10 as he is a 9? Or more of a 10 than he's a 9?
This is my watching it, my debate that I am a big, everyone knows, a massive advocate of the 3-5-2. And I think if we can get Ninja and Fu as the two, that means Ninja can then drop into midfield, Fu can then stay at top, and we can work alongside each other and they can stretch the pitch. I just think he held it up really well and did what he needs to do. And
Just
then
needs
like
to
this play
get
here,
his shot.
We kept the ball really well, didn't force it too long. I think that was another sort of big area for me was the fact of in commentary or from the sidelines, it was like, Rush, come on, go forward. It's like, no, we are the better team. We're a football inside. Let's just keep the ball ticking, just keep it working. Good ball over, and he has a great shot. But I think it was and for me, the next clip just like Beal had one of his better games. You'll see here, he just highlights what a player is. Like the micro scanning there before he receives it, I look over his shoulder. What can he see? Great ball into the middle, receives it, and then there's a bit here in a couple of seconds where you just when it zooms in, you'll see him just look over his right shoulder. It's a scan before
Yep.
he gets the ball, which is like an unbelievable skill to have. As he comes here, scan in, what can he see, and then wins the free kick. And I think he had a great game for me in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, he's a very important part of the team at the moment, isn't he? He's got so much energy. And as you say, he's very aware. That's why he's so good at playing that sort of centre midfield, defensive midfield position.
And he's been good for a while too, Blue, right? Like last year.
Yeah, he was probably either best or second best player last season, depending on what your argument is. Nice little turn from Meek there.
Plays the game so well.
I thought Eek was good at stretching the play. It was a couple of times the ball got away from him, but he was good.
Yeah, I think he was quite. I think that going from such a good game last week, the expectations are so high, and then for him to not meet that was a bit of a like, I didn't do very well, but I think he did do well. If you know what I mean, like I think he did. If this is his first game, it would be like, oh yeah, Eek, well done, because he done so well last game. The standard is so high for him.
I mean, there's a couple of bits we'll talk about later where he overran the ball and that, and if it hadn't have been for that, yeah, he would have had almost a perfect game in some respects.
Yeah.
All right, so talk us through about the press here, George.
This was one bugbear of mine is we're a dominant team, we're a very good side, and just look how much time we give them on the ball. Like there's a moment where they keep the ball, not one person's there. There's a moment when we drop and have one person in their half. Like we keep dropping, and then Fu engages the press, and we win it back. In like here, you've got one player in their half chasing. We're talking about the Heat getting tired. Then Fu actually presses. We win a free kick in a dangerous area. Force a free kick or throw in, and it's like, why why don't we press? Why do we give teams so much space to play? Obviously, I get the heat, but if we win back possession quickly like we do here, we'll then keep the ball longer.
We do need better ball retention, but a two-man press isn't going to do it either. Just
No,
lucky the
so
team wasn't that good.
I don't get why we're so deep. And this is, I think, again, this was Beale. I'm pretty sure with the pass into midfield was. Oh no, it wasn't Bill. Is that the Sanook in it?
Sanook,
Great ball into the middle.
Sanook into him, no. Sanook into midfield,
see
Phil on the
again.
right.
And I think
Oh
it was
my
just a
gosh.
horrible bounce for Ninja. Horrible bounce. Like, if you look at the bounce it takes before he hits it, like, I think in comms they said, "Oh, poor from him," but he literally bobbled right before he took a touch, and he sort of he's hit it hard, just hit it hard when they want to place it. But I think he's being in that position. He's done very well. So that's where you want him. Inside the
if he
box,
can-
trying to get goals.
If we can start getting goals as well as being a good link-up player, it's going to be ideal for us because we've got some decent on-rushing players like Fu, like Eek, like
Yeah.
Bill, Beam. You know, Aeon. We've got these players that can move on beyond him. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to actually seeing him at full pelt, and I hope he does actually get up to speed as well.
But I think
Let's
it's
see the
coming,
next
mate.
one.
I hear this.
Beal again.
How much I love Bill here, I don't get why he didn't just play at home. Like, he's got like two chances to play at home. He tried to do a trick, put us in trouble, and then they've nearly scored. Like, a better team again punishes us here. They keep the ball, nice bit of skill to get around Fu. They keep it, and then nearly go and have like a decent chance, and it's just there. It's just that little bit of game management. You're under pressure, just keep the ball. We're then out of shape, and they win a corner from it.
You diving in
Just
again.
that little bit of game management.
Worst thing about Jews defending is diving in.
I think, and I'll go back to it. I'll go back to it. That is where the free will help him out. Because for me, in the free, watching that game, you could even put Beal in the free. Because I think he dropped in there so many times well. And then when Tuitt comes back, you could the options we've got. We're
Win.
absolutely stacked.
I mean, the Win's back this week coming because he only had national service for a week and everybody knew that, so that's no secret. I mean, I think rather than it being Project Sanook, it needs to be Project 352, or at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. We've had a discussion whether it's more complicated to give individual player instructions or whether it's better to give an entire team instruction. So 352 being an entire team instruction, individual instructions being right, whoever's at right back, you stay extremely defensive, don't go forward and tuck in. Whoever's playing left back, you just bomb forward and basically play as a winger. And when he runs forward, the left winger, your information is that you then tuck in to the right and make the second striker. So it depends whether they're playing as a team or whether they're playing as a team of individuals. I don't know what the right answer is for that, but you know, Project 352, it could be as much keeping 4-3-3 and just augmenting it.
That's where the discussion needs to happen on, like, in the Discord, like, how do we want to play? Like, it's not just like the reason I'm saying 3-5-2 is because I can then explain how it to look. Whereas it's like the reply I get is, "Oh, it doesn't work. It's hot," and it's like, no, but like, if it's hot, like, then you only give certain roles and responsibilities to people. But the players we have and what I can see, 3-5-2 would suit us. Like,
you
you've got food.
You just got to persist, mate. You just got to persist and be assertive without getting annoyed. Because the thing is, when we first started, we were 4-4-2, and I came in and said, "We're not playing 4-4-2. We're playing 4-3-3." And they said, "No, we're not. We're playing 4-4-2 because Thai players cannot play anything other than 4-4-2. They don't have the tactical knowledge." And I said, "Fuck that." Excuse my language. Sorry.
It's your podcast. You can do what you want.
That is literally what I said at the time. And now we play a 4-3-3, which we're obviously a bit stuck on, but it's still a very successful formation for us because I kept on and I explained why and the reasons for this, that, and the other. And, you know, some other people have come in. I remember at the start there was one guy before we even had a team talking about tactics, and a lot of people, I shouted him down, might be too strong of a word, but he never came back, and that was like week 1. So he's never
Wow.
come back after that. Was where if he could have hung about a little bit, his tactical instructions and that still would have been. So my advice is just persistence, and in the end, they'll see it themselves, or they won't, and we can just move on to something else.
So
I still believe with you. I believe you're right.
I mean, here's the thing though, right? Future United is an experiment, right? In many different fronts. Can you do it in Thailand? Can you have fan engagement? Can you use crypto rails? There's a lot of experiments going on, which is going to lead to growth on all areas. So how we get better is George forcing those conversations, Blue having conversations like that. I'm just going to say this sentence. We've got 4 games to go. We've won our first 2. Is it the risk worth the reward? And please just be brief real quick. We got to get through this, but is that a fair statement, or am I looking at from a different sporting perspective?
You're absolutely correct, and the answer for me is no, because we didn't train it in pre-season.
George?
I believe it's something for next season.
I believe there's no risk.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, I love asking a question and having 2 sides. So let's keep going through it, and you can explain why those perspectives make sense. And we're about to jump to Super Poo. Of course, I always got a shout out. Got the authentic jersey on. He's my favorite. Got the 101 goal scoring from 2023.
The Wonder Kid.
Love Poo, the Wonder Kid. Okay, George, go ahead. We've got it on screen. Roll tape.
This clip didn't need much talking about. This was just superb individual play, beat his player perfectly.
Oh,
yeah. There's not much needed to be said.
Filthy.
Like again, like it was so hard for. Like at the start, Ninja was feeding off little touches there, here and there, and it was like hard for him to actually get a rhythm. Like when you're playing a solo striker, it's so hard because you're isolated, you're working off scraps. So like here, it's like a good ball in, but he's been asked to do so much. So I think that's where again the 2, if you have Fu and Ninja working together, Ninja secures it, plays around with Fu. Like I think they just work. They would work so well together.
I mean, Aeon is almost there though. Aeon is behind him, almost supporting him. I think he might just need to get a bit of a better connection, because he could even have just touched that back. It wouldn't have been an easy pass, but he could have touched that back to Aeon. So it's not like there isn't the possibility of a partnership forming between those 2. I think Aeon does need to get further up the pitch, but his dribbling, he might like to start a bit deeper.
Because Aeon in the 10 with literally Fu and Ninja together, Aeon just sits behind them. That is where I think, imagine them 3 playing together, with like getting them on the ball with each other would be so good. And you got Mbappe when he's fit, Eek the other side. Obviously now, that as a going forwards, it just gets me so excited, but it'll never happen.
Reminds me of old school Interland.
As like I think Ninja was getting a lot of stick in the first half. I think he's very like it's very hard to understand how hard it is being a solo striker in a 3 when you are just feeding off little touches here and there.
No, I rate his Ninja. I'd say I think he's just getting up to speed still.
Yeah.
Carry on, Plants. Where are we at, right?
Oh, this wound me up. Oh, right. So I've seen the Discords. We've literally said about how hot it is and all this sort of thing, and like with killing it, like all this sort of stuff. We've gone long, 2 versus 4. Like what can they do there? Like you've hooved the ball, the pitch. You've got it in your hands. Keep it in your hands. And let us get set. Little roll out, little pass in midfield. Keep the ball. You put it long. 2 versus 4. Just it's so many times it was like go, and it's like no, like we're the better team. We're on top. Let's keep the ball retention, all this sort of thing, and
well, you can do that if like the point that George is making as well is there's only 2 people there. Yes, there's 2 people way back, but they're not going to win the secondary ball. If it's coming from a long ball, they're either going to head it or try and bring it down. The chances are that it's going to bounce off of them. Somebody's going to need to collect the secondary ball. We're not in position to do it. So even if you were going to play long, you would get people in position to be able to contest that
Yeah.
second ball.
Like for me, it would make sense if the back three were on the halfway line and you're hitting it over their heads to run onto. But it's like, yeah,
Carry on, Plants,
I
still
totally
good.
got why it was so rushed. And then again, it never felt like we had a sustained attack in the first sort of half an hour. It was sort of every attack was so rushed going forwards. We didn't really have a momentum going forwards. It was every time we went forwards, like attack, attack, attack. There was no build up or keeping the ball moving to go forwards. It was in the midfield. Can we go score?
Mhm.
And that was a sort of. It felt like we're so eager to go forwards. There's actually sometimes can we just build? And this was funny. So literally watching it, I said about maintaining possession in attack, and then the half hour mark, we literally did that. We kept the ball. We didn't try and go forwards. Recycled it. Went backwards. Kept it ticking.
Keep your
Flicked it
eye on Aeon in the
across,
middle of the field.
and it was like
Over the
here. This is what I was
pass.
talking about a second ago. Like it's just keeping the ball, great
Lovely.
footwork, and then finish.
So it's Fu and Ninja there. And watch Aeon. He's strolling in the middle, making himself available, opening his body up. Yeah, it's a lovely goal. Did well to hold on to it.
Individual brilliance, what you need sometimes.
Yeah.
Susu, 1-0.
This was funny because that you can I'm assuming Ninja's played at a decent level before us or not. I'm not sure on his background. He's played high up, hasn't he?
Under 21 for one of the biggest teams in Thailand.
Yeah. So if you go back to the start of this clip, Lance. So in comms again, it was poor from Ninja. Why didn't you go long? But you're taught to basically play what you can see. So there, as Ninja's received it, his vision is basically a little setback, and then the midfielder coming on will then play the clip pass. But here, so he basically rather than trying to turn awkwardly, he just set it back to the player that can go forwards, and it's that
Yeah.
pass forwards that needs to be better. But in comms, it was poor from Ninja, and it's like no, he's done the right. Like, he's a little simple set. The midfielder then coming onto it has got to do the ball across because his body's open. He's like can see the whole pitch.
Yeah.
That's his pass. But otherwise, Ninja's got to turn on it and try
Yeah,
to
well,
sort of play
if
a
Ninja has to turn it, it
sidewinder.
takes an extra 2-3 seconds to do so, by which time he's been
Yeah.
closed down. As you're saying, if he just knocks it on and runs off, he saves 2-3 seconds, and it's just faster to attack like that.
But you can see that he's played up because that sort of little bit of now slice. Good ball into midfields. And just, yeah.
Bobbly pitch. It's our home ground. I hope it gets a bit less bobbly. You, centre back.
This was again. This was a superb bit of skill, and this was it. 'Cause it was you sort of wanted Ninja in the box this moment, sort of the pullback,
Yeah.
and that's where you want Ninja to be, like in there where he was earlier, and now he's not there. You're missing him. So it's that thing of like the earlier clip when he sort of it bobbled and hit it hard. It's sort of that's where you want Ninja to be.
It's the Harry Kane argument, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's where again you want Ninja in the penalty box is where he's going to score, but it's the sort of good bit of footwork, great vision.
It's that
love that
pass.
little slide through. Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah,
that's
the
where you
vision
want him
for
to be in the
that.
box.
He does have great vision.
He's unlucky not to.
So let me ask a question. Is that why you're saying we should do a formation change? Because Ninja is versatile. There's players that can be in different areas, and that's an example of him out of position. There's no one to fill.
Basically, yeah. So if we played a 3-5-2, he could go there, but then the person in the two would still be in the box. Whereas because we play a 4-3-3, if he drifts wide, there's no one in the middle. We lose a lot of that middle perspective. Whereas in a 2, he can drift wide to help the wing back, and we've still got that central player.
So talk us through this one here with the hold up. 3-5-2.
So again, it's just little link up play. Like, mate, Ninja was so good here. Good little flick on like here, and that's the prime example there of Ninja's come wide, and I don't know who's on the ball now.
I think it's Boo.
The flick there. So that's what I'm saying. The 3-5-2 will work with them two, because Ninja's come wide, Foos them spilled the middle spot, and that's where we get a lot of joy.
And Aeon actually fills the spot in behind you if you watch. Just as the clip ends, you'll see 89, and that's Aeon.
Oh, he was
So
over the
Aeon's
left.
right there on the edge of the box where you want him, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where it's sort of that's where for me it shows that we've got the players to do it. It's just trusting them. Like again, it's just Ninja, just superb hold up play, moving the ball. I don't think from when he secured it, didn't lose possession. I'm pretty sure from watching the game. Like every time he got on the ball, he just secured it, little set, and that's what he just kept the ball moving. Yeah, I love watching him. And that's the difference there. You've got a player that got it at the end of that clip, then wasn't able to do it.
So these are just good examples of us playing together as a team. That's what a set is, just playing together.
Yeah. I think again, the next clip is very biased of the 3-5-2. Because like I said, Beale could easily drop into the centre back role. Here you've got it. You've got the natural free there. Jude dropped into midfield. Beale's played off.
The left back. There's Snoop 27.
Jude's in there, received it. I think we'll be a hand like that. It's absolutely fine. Just keep the ball moving. Pretty sure it pops into midfield here.
Nice touch by Aeon. Woo.
Must be a C game, is it 16? Check.
And my video is a little bit jumpy.
Blue
so
C game is 16 years old? 15 years old? No, he's not 15 anymore.
No.
17?
I'm not exactly sure, but it's definitely Academy product.
Yeah, he was class of 23. 23 Academy products, that would put him at 17.
Yeah, I mean, he's yeah, exactly. I was going to say the oldest is going to be 17, 18.
That's where
the
that
best games played for us. Sorry, George.
Film played well. I don't want to but like in the clip, you've got the one before when it was just a nice build-up play from Bill dropping in and Jew in there. It was you had like Film just went long. It was like we need the midfield then to drop with the ball, because here everyone's so far away. The keeper's got it. Like come support him, but if you have no option, just kick that out of play for their throw in. And it was it's that moment of come on, let's just keep the ball. We worked it well, drop back, and just frustration.
I'm actually kind of glad that he does that though. Kicking it out into touch is a new thing for him, so I'm glad that he's doing it. Because before last season, a couple of seasons ago, even he was getting us into a lot of trouble when he should have just been putting it into touch.
He was trying to be the film project.
There should be support from as well though. Like I get 100% agree. If you're in trouble, clip it out. But there needs to be he had time there where he could have made a pass, but no midfield drop to help him.
I don't like it necessarily when the defenders split that wide. There's no need for them to split to left back and right back to receive the ball. I don't like it being that wide. It's just such a big sort of
that works when a midfielder then drops into the middle. So it's the centre back split, midfielder drops in, there's your free, fullbacks go high, you've got then 5 options to play, clip it into midfield sets it, middle centre back comes forward, receives it.
You really do have to have centre backs that can play the ball though. I mean, that's what Jude's there for.
But then you've got Bill that also can play there, Tuit can play there. I think we have got players that can play it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think to be honest, I think although we're not looking for ball playing centre backs necessarily, none of them are horrendous, but you can never trust a centre back. You can never fully trust a centre back, can you?
Not if their name is Tyrone Mings. But I love Tyrone Mings.
I love Tyrone Mings.
He's the
Ex
best.
Blue, good lad he is.
Oh, he's the best. Okay, talk us through right here. Let's keep going. And for the folks at home, we are in the 63rd minute, and we have 2 minutes and 20 seconds more of highlights of you. So we are getting close to the end of this. The next step is we're going to look at the table, and then everyone's favorite part, predictions, and look forward to next week's preview. So about 15 more minutes of the show. Thanks for everybody who's in the comments. George, keep it going for us.
I think this is again number 6 is eat. Like, it's the right idea, just right execution. Like Ninja's pulled wide, and then it's just that little, like we said earlier, just overran it a touch, where he should have just laid it off for him to go. I don't get why Ninja was so wide. This was just, this ball is unbelievable. I mean, and that's where players will need to get used to playing with him, because it's sort of him to be able to do that, just clips it over the top, perfectly weighted. I think that's Pele came on, didn't he? I think that is there.
Yeah, I think it's either Pele or Zorro.
21.
Yeah, that one was on. But it was just that pass was just so nice.
I'm going to run it through this one because I guess it's another Ninja love clip from you, Coach.
It's just... You'd say it was going to be Ninja loving. Yeah, 21 is Pele.
Again, this is good cut out from again Eek, I think it was. Great hold up play, does what he needs to do, keeps the ball moving, great footwork, slides the player in. And it was just unfortunate. But like Ninja done everything he needs to do. Like that's the thing where I think when it sounds so like big headed. I don't mean to sound like how it sounds, but I think when you're watching it with a coach's hat on, you watch a game differently. Whereas when you watch it sort of as a fan, like I'm watching Ninja, I'm like, oh my god, great movement, great touches. Whereas like he was like, oh, he didn't do anything. It's like he was so good. Like he did everything he had to do. His job is secure it and keep the ball moving. And he got other players in, and once he got into the game, once players get used to him, I'm so excited for him.
I think the trick as a coach or a manager, though, is to actually carry on enjoying it and be able to talk about the positive things rather than being negative. I mean, even for like music production, we used to show each other our music like with somebody else's, pretend it wasn't yours, to see what a friend's reaction was. Friends stopped showing me because I'd just be like, it was garbage. If I'd just been better at picking out the positives, I would have helped people more. Do you know what I mean? Help them improve more. So it's one of them things where I guess as a coach, you have to sort of learn how to stifle that angst.
Yeah.
Well said.
This can just keep rolling. It's such a like nice press, win up high. You like these pit plants as well. Look, watch this ball retention from a throw in.
The unsexy of just ball retention. It should not be taken for granted, but yet it is.
Just about ball retention, he lost it.
But he didn't. We love that.
Minik's doing alright out there, though, supporting. Nice touches there. Ninja. That's it. Back out to each, stretching. Lovely little touch. See, that's why. That's why I was like that assist in itself. I thought he smashed it for that alone.
Literal dream goal. Started from a throw-in plant, from a throw-in.
Right, and it's not celebrated, but assist throw-in, coach.
The thing is, defending at this level, defenders cannot deal with crosses of any kind. So the more you put in, the more chances you've got of scoring. It's just one of those things, even against us, at this level, defenders just don't know how to deal with crosses well enough.
We'll run this one through. It's worth it, right, boys? To see this one go up 2-0 in the 74th minute. Ooh.
It's all your favourite players, mate. All your favourite players doing bits.
I'm just convinced Pooh teaches everyone everything. All right, we're in the 94th minute.
again, Ninja. Just hold up play, keeps the ball moving. That pass. Oh,
Filthy.
straight over the top. Ball in behind. Oh,
Lovely
dead.
from Ram. Beautiful, isn't it? But he did well to receive it in the first place, and he also did quite well to actually chip it. It's a bit of a
Over.
difficult angle.
That's a nice finish.
Great finish. Great
It is.
finish.
It's a great finish. Just 2 great goals in this game.
And then just to end, a little bit of a negative. Always got to end on a negative. 95th minute, going for a clean sheet. Keep Plants on 1 point, but no.
How many players dive in with this one, though?
Ew.
It is a
So frustrating.
At one point, I see 5 black shirts and 1 red, and somehow they score. Yeah,
I
disappointing.
think it's tiredness mixed with a little bit of
Look at that.
laziness because I know they've won.
Coach, is that good? Giving up a goal with that still shot? Just asking.
No. I don't like. Why is Jude so deep there? I don't like. What's happened before that, where he's that deep
Yeah. All right. Well,
to be so like disjointed?
it's
Like,
tough to end on a bad highlight like this, Coach. But like, this is how you keep the boys hungry, right? And with that is like the perfect transition, because when we go ahead and look at the table, I'd like to pull something to the audience with their eyes. See Futera United, that's the team we support. You guys see 6 points from 2 games. Blue, is that good? 6 points from 2 games?
Yeah, it is. It is for the moment. It is for the moment, mate. Especially when second place has only got 4 points. We'll see. I don't know what happened with Saraboo. We'll have to check that result. See if we can find anything.
What's up with the team in 5th? Not playing any games yet. How come?
We're gonna look that up for everyone at home right now. We'll get you that news, George. But George, so great, right? 2 points, 6 games.
Yeah.
There's lots of improvements that we've talked through. Little ninja love. Hopefully, game 3 he keeps that transgression. We got here right against Iowa Tawa, right? Sorry, everyone, for my pronunciation. Yes. All right, I'm gonna leave that to Blue because he's got the pronunciation. That's the team that we have right now. Don't have any goals for. But looking back, just 3-1. Your man of the match has got to be Ninja, George.
Yeah, all day for me.
All right, my man of the match is going to be Pooh, because he's going to be man of the match every match for me. He taught the guys in practice what they needed to know. So, ultimate team guy. I mean, just how long until he becomes team captain, right? Hopefully not too soon because we want you to stick around. But Blue, for you, I know you're looking that up, but put a little bow on this game. Feeling pretty good about 6 points.
Yep, and as I say, Ram was my
Ram.
My pick for man of the match.
Okay, well,
because he got 2 goals, didn't he? K1 super sub, 2 goals. Can't ask for more.
Yeah, that is true.
Fair play to him.
That's what you're looking for, right? So let me do now that we have talked about the results, we've shown the highlights, we're going to really get everyone fired up for what are the season standings for our picks. Now, this graphic is almost complete. Plants needs to work on his math because he actually has 5 points instead of 6. George, talk us through it. This is the second game. We've got the updated standings on the left side here. How are we doing?
Yeah, I thought defensively would struggle more. I said 3-2. Obviously, I want to say 3-1, but I thought I'd be the sportsman and let you take 3-1, which hit me in the backside in the end. But I'll take another correct goal scorer. I don't mind that. And me and you joint top. It's the historian that's struggling, isn't he? The Futera man himself.
Defend yourself,
about the
Blue.
history, not the future.
Defend yourself, Blue. You're just going to take that
about
from
the
Coach?
history, not the future, aren't
Yeah, that's true.
Love that.
That is true. Okay, we'll continue to update this and then show the folks as we continue to progress through the season, which will add us to, we'll have a new column next week. Blue, what's the name of our opponent?
Ayutthaya.
Yes, we're going to play them and we're going to predict scores. Who would like to go first? And update for the folks last week, we have a gentleman's agreement amongst us 3. We have our goal scorers and score beforehand. We won't be influenced. It's cool if we have the same, right? That just means we're all on the same board. And if there's upsets or changes, it's even more fun for all of us to experience it together. Who would like to go first? Should it be me? Blue?
I think bottom to top.
All right. Blue, you're up first.
3-0. 3-0 and Poe.
Okay.
Ooh.
George?
2-0 Ninja.
And I have 3-1 Pooh. Shocking, but smart. I'm looking for Blue to get a point for a goal scorer this week. I think that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and by the way, if they pull out, then it's 3-0.
That's technicality there, isn't it? That's technicality there.
Yeah, well, that's why he's the historian. That's why he's the historian, right? That was a pretty savvy move. Okay, last time we had Blue.
Go
ahead, George.
Have they pulled out previously? Then have they?
I thought I saw a score for them before, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. But in the past, it's not uncommon for a team to pull out altogether.
For a variety of reasons. It could be financial. We had an owner last year who came on the field and threw a hissy fit. Yeah, Eggy Ty, thank you. Legendary. There's some hilarious videos floating around of the owner, who is a very wealthy person, rolling around on the pitch, making a whole scene. Blue, any other color to add to that? Because that's definitely part of Futerra lore.
Yeah, so basically they claimed that he hadn't paid the club fees for the ground and for the league, and he was screaming at the club officials, but they actually turned up mob-handed with police and the club and league officials as well. So they knew what they were going to do, and he ended up getting dragged out by the police, literally dragged out, and he was shouting something like, was it something, my money not good enough, my money not good enough, or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It was absolutely mental. And then you had Tim sort of like, he's being dragged out, and the camera pans around and Tim's just standing. I think he's like drinking a drink or something, just watching. It was jokes.
Yeah. All right. Futerra United always keeps it interesting. We're 2 games in. We've got 4 to go. We're top of the table. Things are moving. Coaches identified flaws. Blues coming in with suggestions and making sure that the Discord and the community is feeling good. We got a new vote coming up. Last one was super interesting, so maybe this one will have a little more head-to-head positional, but we never know. Blue, couple comments before we're going to pass it to George to shut it down this time.
Yep. Mark's new nickname is the Grinch for his scoring system, and we're gonna win the league, but then we still have to win the championship round after that.
So that's a good point. So we'll get more into how we actually progress to promotion, right? And what Blue was referring to is you have to have an NFT, you got to be in the manager's office, but Mark actually gave numbers next to players' names for performance, which I enjoyed. There was good banter. Tim had an opinion. We're not going to talk about what stays in the manager office. Happens there, stays there, right? That's the old saying for about Vegas. But thank you, Blue. That was a great point. George, take us home.
I just really want a 3-5-2 vote, if I'm honest. I think now Tuit's back. Win will be back. I think we've got the options, we've got the players. I just want to see it. And this is what I was saying in the manager's chat. If the vote happens and we vote not to happen, then fair enough. But I think we deserve at least a vote on it or have a decision. I think the votes will be interesting with who's coming back and who's going to come in. It'll be interesting, but I think it'll be another win and it'll be sitting pretty on the top of the tree.
We should have a vote on whether we have a vote.
I agree. That's what I think. Yeah.
Let's have a vote on whether we vote about a 3-5-2.
All right. Well, we're going to be consistent about it. We will be in that manager's office. For folks that reach out, you have our information on the bottom. Thank you both for your guys' time. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys. Until next time, Susu, we'll see you for episode